What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate. Reverse ranch. No hate. So, I felt like doing this video because I just sat here again and rewatched the whole build up to Amanda Serrano Katie Taylor 2. Now, the fight is supposed to be in July, right? So it's still time to build up. But I'll give you my thoughts on what I saw. Now, first of all, people, casuals anyway, but people, they just want to feel like they're part of something big, even if they don't really understand what's happening. You know, like people will show up to let's go to the fight. Who's fighting? Oh, I don't know them. Oh, I heard of them. Oh, we from the same country? Okay, woo, woo, let me cheer for our girl. Oh, they don't even know who's fighting. Okay. Let me show you how really lame these things are. But people only look at it one way and think this is great. Okay. First off, people want to feel like they're part of something big. So they'll come just for the event, but not so much for the sport itself and really understanding who's who and who's doing what. And they love the sport of boxing. Okay. Jake Paul comes out and he glazes all the women. Oh, you know, I'm here to show for all these people that say women don't belong. They're the ones that don't belong. And women, boxing is this, and women should get the same as men, and women, and women, and women, and we're trying to bring the sport. Of course, that's going to get all the women, especially the feminists, to, okay, I like this guy, right? Or I like what he's saying at least. So let's glaze and glaze and glaze and glaze. Okay, cool. They talked about how this fight has already broken the attendance record for the first fight already, and they like all these things. All I'm really hearing, Amanda Serrano will be the highest paid woman in women's boxing. And now all I'm hearing is glaze, 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 how much money it's going to make, and we're bringing the sport of boxing. Women's boxing is this, right? That's all I'm hearing. I'll guarantee you the majority of the people watching this don't even know most of those women names sitting up there. So they all become part of MVP. Katie Taylor's just fighting, but she's not MVP. So listen at what I'm hearing these people say, right? I'm noticing like 90-something% of the questions was all directed towards Katie Taylor, not Amanda Serrano. Okay? Jake Paul says Amanda Serrano, well, not Jake Paul, but he said it before. He did say it before, but the guy, the host, okay, the speaker, he references her as the face, the heart and soul, and Jake Paul as of MVP. Now, he says that she's the pride of Puerto Rico, she's the pride of Brooklyn. Okay, all this shit. Notice how nobody really asked Alycia Baumgardner shit. I saw her get asked two questions. One, it was about her deciding to come there or whatever the hell, and whatever, just something, a question about them. And she pretty much how Katie and Amanda is great and they did this and that for the sport. I can understand, right? But I noticed with her, she didn't glaze as much as everybody else did. But then two, the only other question was who she think was going to win. Nobody was there to really talk to Alycia Baumgardner. Now, mind you, Alycia is younger than Amanda Serrano. She's younger than Katie Taylor. This is more of a wait your turn type of thing with Alycia Baumgardner. Think about it. I saw a video where Jake Paul sat there and said, Alycia Baumgardner is the MVP of MVP. You just called Amanda Serrano the heart and soul of MVP. Now, one of the funny things during this press conference is Amanda Serrano did nothing but spend this whole time talking about the past, the first two fights. And she actually said Katie's got everything to prove. She has to prove to the judges that she won the first two fights. No, she don't. She won those first two fights. That's over with. You're trying to use all this brain, this technology and these little feeble-brained people that will sit there and ah everything you say. And then she says she has to prove to the judges, like, hey, come on, what fight were you watching? And it's like, okay. So in other words, there's nothing you're going to be able to do different than the last time, pretty much. I mean, when Kovalev and Andre Ward fought the first time, I thought that Kovalev won the fight. Okay. Regardless to what I thought, Andre Ward got the decision. In the rematch, Andre Ward went in there and did what he didn't do the first time, and far more effective, and broke his body down and got him out of there. Didn't leave it to in the hands of the judges. Can Amanda Serrano do the same thing? This is what we're gonna have to see. Okay. I see this fight as being the same as the first two, the same type. I mean, now you never know what can happen, but what I'm saying, out of everything that comes out of Amanda Serrano's mouth, it's like pity. I want to win the fans over. I want the persuasion of the fans. I want them to cheer louder for me. I want the judges to know, like, pay attention to what everybody's saying. Who cares what everybody's saying? Let's just be real. I'm looking at, I have it muted right now. I'm just sitting here looking at the face-off between the two, man. And in all honesty, it's like the highest paid woman right now in boxing, if it's Amanda Serrano, like they said, is 36 years old. Okay? Which means it took her more than her whole career to finally get to this point, financially. What's going to start happening when all these women become jealous? What's going to start happening when there's favoritism clearly being shown amongst the MVP stable? This isn't like the fucking horsemen, the four horsemen. This isn't the NWO. They're not competing with against other people and protecting each other. No, they're all fighting each other. One of the things that Amanda Serrano said, this is how feeble you fans are. This is why I do what I do. She said, she was talking shit about Katie Taylor, saying, oh, you're not a woman of your word. You shook my hand and said, we'll do 3 rounds. And you shouldn't have shook my hand if you knew you wasn't going to do the 3 rounds. Isn't that the same exact problem Alycia Baumgardner's had? Are you paying me for those 3 minutes? 3 minutes around? Nobody wants to see 3 minutes around. That's boring. Women's boxing is boring with 3 minutes. I know what I'm doing, right? Remember, now she's a part of MVP as well, which means she agrees with Katie Taylor. 3 minutes for what? And then Katie Taylor made it look stupid. She said, see, you guys get all into that hyped up, loud talking, over talking shit. Katie Taylor said, okay, and in your 3 minute extra rounds, who have you knocked out? Nobody. All of this extra rounds for what? I told you guys. That's why she specified that, especially against Alycia Baumgardner, because she figures my gas tank is better than Baumgardner's. She'll get tired when I won't. Those extra 2 rounds, I can steal the fight back. You understand what I'm saying? Or, bottom line, I can still deal with those extra 2 rounds. I don't care personally whether it's 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And I'm telling you, what I'm seeing is a bad formula. All I'm hearing is money, money, money. This is a huge event. Oh, the stars are... Who gives a fuck? I don't care about how much money you make. That's your job to focus on that. I'm not... Woo! The highest... Who cares? I don't give a shit. I'm not sitting here glazing anybody. And I'm certainly not sitting here bragging about somebody's pockets. Okay? That's for you to do. But as a company, you know what I'm not hearing? We want to put on the best quality fights. These women are not here to just get a paycheck. We're not bringing people in just so we can pay them heavy. They have to earn this money the same way that men earn. No, that's not what I'm hearing. All I'm hearing is whoop, whoop, raise the roof. We're in the money now. Well, the same problems are going to happen with the women. Question was asked to Amanda Serrano. Do she have any plans on going back down to 126 after this fight and defending her titles at 126? Well, like you said, I got Katie Taylor in front of me right now, and after this fight, we'll see the team. We'll see. Oh, and the woman that just beat Scott Nicholson. I'm so proud of her. Well, yeah, we'll see. Because they said that she says she would love to fight Amanda Serrano. She didn't necessarily say those words that way. She kind of glazed it too with this whole "we're best friends, we're such good friends." It would be a great fight, but this and that, but kind of danced on eggshells and beat around the bush due to their friendship. But I'm listening to this and I'm like, yeah, okay. She don't want to say any. She you know what I'm saying. She shows no interest at 126. There's no enthusiasm. She talks about no fighters at 126 at all. And now someone that holds the title just happened to be your friend. Okay. Tiara Brown. 2. When I listen to her constantly talking about how, oh, I'm not saying I lost, I was robbed, but I'm saying that everybody, well, most people, think I won or think I didn't lose. Or okay, fuck what most people are saying. Okay, stop living in the past. Focus on what you have to do in your third fight. And truthfully, when I'm looking at Alycia Baumgardner, I'm looking at all these other women up there. All you see is big ass posters and shit of Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. How about have these women introduce themselves? How about you give these women the same amount of time to sit there and who they are? Like, you know why? For one, if you want different results, you got to do things differently. That's one thing boxing always did. They promoted the sport poorly. They only focus on the main event, the main attraction, which is one of the things that's always been different with MMA. MMA always, they promote that whole card. Everybody talks, everybody gets to say this, this shit is, they're just sitting there. Now, example, I guarantee you, in all honesty, if right now I ask people, what's the name of the person Baumgardner's fighting? Without Googling that shit, look, you guys don't even know who the fuck she's fighting. We know women's boxing is not that popular. We know that it's not deep in terms of each division having a bunch of really solid fighters. I don't like to keep saying popularity because when I say it, what I'm talking about is fighters that's going to turn heads. So in other words, they for example, Ramla Ali is a good fighter. Remember how everybody kept talking about Ebony Bridges? Like she was just, and as soon as Ebony lost, we haven't heard nothing about Ebony Bridges since then. So somebody said, yeah, but she 36, 37. Yeah, so was Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. And so I'm looking at this press conference and I'm just looking at Alycia Baumgardner sitting there looking bored. Well, I'm happy for women's boxing and I want to see the sport grow and, stop it. See, the type of mouth Alycia Baumgardner has. You know how cocky she is. You know how arrogant she is. Why is she sitting there playing along? Because now she's a part of MVP. Of course she's going to say that she thinks Amanda Serrano's going to win regardless because she's a stablemate. Okay? Katie Taylor is an MVP. But she beat the best so-called female best fighter at MVP right now, right? And Amanda Serrano twice. Where does this put Alycia Baumgardner? Gotta wait your turn, little girl. Yeah. Because I guarantee you they're going to protect Serrano as long as they possibly can. Why? If her versus Baumgardner, is a big fight, then that means Baumgardner has to go to 140. Do you think that she's going to dictate what weight class Serrano fights at? Which is, yeah, and I know the answer is a big, emphatic no. So why did anybody think she had the fucking right or the star power or anything to tell Clarissa Shields what weight class they're going to fight at or no fight as if Shields needs her? Katie Taylor said something that's so true, and I said this shit after their second fight when they announced that there was going to be a third fight. She said something that's true. She said, Amanda Serrano needs this fight far more than I do. See, this is why everybody keeps glazing Amanda Serrano, telling her how many championships she's won and how many weight class. All this, they keep saying the same shit over and over. Yeah, we know. But it's also not cool to hold belts in a division and you don't have any plans on defending them. And it's funny how you don't get stripped, you don't have a mandatory, none of that stuff. Do you understand? This is the favoritism of star power. None of that shit doesn't mean anything. It's like when I watched the press conference between It was actually the face-off between Natasha Jonas and Lauren Price. I'm sitting there like, why? The question she's asking, why didn't you fight such and such, this and this and that? How come you didn't do this and this and this? Oh, what place did you come out in an Olympic trial? Well, how come you? What does any of that have to do with you guys fighting? If you're going to promote a fight, I feel like the best thing that can come out of your mouth is just being genuine and dealing with the reality. What most people think, you got to talk some shit, you got to make up a bunch of stupid things to say and ask a bunch of questions that mean nothing. Now, let's say my point, if Natasha Jonas was to ask her those same questions right now, you all would say, you sound stupid. She whooped your ass. She sounds stupid before she got her ass whooped, because it's like, what does any of that have to do with right now? This is the here and now. Just like people kept bringing up the victory that was given to Savannah Marshall in the Olympics over Clarissa Shields. They kept bringing that fight up, and I'm like, yeah, they're hoping and crossing their fingers, praying, doing voodoo or whatever they can, hoping that she gets this victory against Shields. They keep bringing up everything about the past, and all they had to say, to Savannah Marshall's credit, was her punching power. And they had a few people that, for whatever reason, thought she was a better boxer than Shields. But at the same time, look at the results, right? And this is what I'm saying. Even when Savannah Marshall said something, she couldn't answer questions. She just sit there, that glazed look in her face, smiling, because she couldn't answer goddamn questions. And everything Shields was saying was something that was directed towards her, due to her behavior, how she's acting, things she say, what was not logical. Like, just, she's chopping her up with, this came out of your mouth. You said X, Y, Z, this and that. Okay, I'm here to whoop your ass. See, you think you can beat me. I know I can beat you. And she was direct with everything. She's not sitting up here bringing up a bunch of other shit. How come you never fought such and such? And how come you... So I'm looking at this press conference here, man, and this was just like a glaze show. Let's just glaze each other. I don't give a fuck about your money, how much money you make. I'm not going to stroke your ego for you. I'm not here for any of that shit. All I care about is the fucking fights. Like I said, that's all your personal, I didn't hear anything. Okay? I did not hear anything that sound like grown, mature women and the guys that spoke. I didn't hear anything that just sound like, hey, man, we're here to bring boxing. But no, all I hear is, let's make spectacles. Let's break live gates. Let's continue to grow the sport to where the money's there. Yeah, that's all I'm hearing. And the more money involved, the more egos, the more backstabbing, the more bullshit, the more people don't want to fight. She's not on my pay scale. Even though the skills are there. See, look at the problems we having with male boxing, right? Jerron Boots and Bazi said something that I respect. And that's why I said before, I think it was a misunderstanding, or either it was a video edit where Boots was saying he wanted to fight for Undisputed. And if he didn't get that, then he was going to 154. But the way he said it was as if like, fuck it. Like, no, I want this. And if I can't get the fights, I'm like, but then this stuff about him and Virgil Ortiz fighting, and how him and Ortiz fighting, and then him turning the fight down, coming back down. Like, no, he did say he was going to 154 if he can't get what he wanted at 147. He did say that. But the thing about that was, what went on behind the scenes, or whatever they did make a video about, then we come to find out that, no, him and Stanionis. And then bottom line, remember, Barrios was supposed to fight Boots, and then the fight didn't happen. You can't listen to these content creators telling you things that happen when there's no proof of. And this is why I said, there's no way that any content creator, unless you are a rat in somebody's camp, you're stealing information. If there's no information on nobody's channel, nobody's social media, and I'm talking the fighters themselves, there's no trainers, no management, no promote. Nobody's talking about nothing. How can you possibly know? You can be like the first couple of people to know something, but other than that, no. How could you possibly know? And then when the things don't come into fruition, oh, he ducked because of such and such. Did you come to find out? No, we never even had this conversation. This was bullshit. So now Bazi and Boots said, if they can't get Undisputed, they're not waiting around. He's unified. He wanted to become undisputed, but if he can't get it, then he's going. Now, wouldn't Mario Barrios like a complete bitch if he doesn't fight Boots, but then all of a sudden Boots vacates and go to 154? Now all of a sudden Barrios, because he's been quiet as fuck. Now let's pay attention and see what happens. He's been quiet as fuck all this time. So now all of a sudden, if Barrios starts running his mouth, and now he wants to fight for undisputed, because let's look at who's there at 147. Boots should be able to clean up 147. All he needs is the opportunity to fight. That's it. And all he needs is one more belt. Bam. Okay, cool. 154, here I come. I'm not really crazy about. I don't know what Jermell Charlo's doing. I don't think Crawford, I don't give a fuck what he says. Crawford doesn't want to fight him. He's not going to stick around for Boots. And I'm gonna get to that in this. Let me say this, and then I'll get back to the women. He's not gonna fight Boots. Okay? Let me tell you why. Crawford said out of his own mouth he wants 2 more fights: Errol Spence rematch and Canelo, and that's it. If he fights Canelo, okay, and he beats Canelo, he's going to 168. This will be for Canelo's belts. So more than likely, there will be a rematch clause. Now, whether or not Canelo exercises it would be something different. But if he beats Canelo, do you really think that he's going to go back to 154 just to fight Boots now? Unless that money is the same type of money he get from, like, fuck it, I can use, it's another huge payday. Other than that, no. Now, if it's about protecting his oath and saying, hey, I beat Canelo, and most people didn't think that I could, why is he going to go fight Boots now? Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't, but what I'm saying is if it's about, because to be honest with you, here's where y'all fuck up as fans. If he was to beat Canelo, you know what you guys would say? Well, he'll beat Boots. We don't know that. Y'all always the ones, but styles make fights. Right, but it's funny how y'all forget that when it comes to a fighter that you show favoritism towards. So I don't think he's going to go fight. You think he's really going to do that? Now, he'll be 38, 39 at this time. I think he's 37 now. So by the time him and Canelo fight, and then if he was to win, now all of a sudden he's going to go back down to 154. And what if Canelo, what if he loses? And then, what if he does win and Canelo exercises the rematch clause? That's 2 huge paydays back to back. And you think he's going to go back down to 154 just to fight Boots? No. Now, what if Crawford loses? What does Boots have to gain for beating Crawford now? You understand what I'm saying? And Boots is not talking about 168 or 160. He's talking about 154. If he can't get undisputed, they're not going to sit around and wait, because they realize there are no more names at 147 that Boots can fight that's going to boost his star power or give him like really huge money. So no, at least if I go to 154, like I said, I don't know what's up with Jermell Charlo, but he's still not saying he's retired. Spence is there. I don't know what. Bottom line, I'm not crazy about Fundora at all. Fundora does nothing for me, man. But bottom line is there's more credible names at 154 than at 147 right now, name wise anyway. So he should be able to go out there and clean out 147. But these guys don't want to fight Boots. So now, all of a sudden, the Brian Norman Jr., all these people just start now of a sudden, they want belts. And what you'll have is a 147-pound division of fighters that didn't want to fight Boots, but now that he's killed the carcass and moved on, they'll eat the scraps that's left. And, hey, I'm the champ, I'm this, I'm that. And it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. Canelo skipped 168 on purpose. Remember. And went to 175 and fought Kovalev. And then Benavidez got stripped. And all of a sudden, what does he do? Now he wants to stop at 168 and fight for a vacant belt. See, these are the things that people purposely overlook. But see, I don't have a favorite fighter. I don't show favoritism. I'm just not built like that. So I have nothing but truth to tell. In reality, same thing going to happen with the females. The same shit's going to happen with the women. Because everybody want that brass ring. Ain't nobody trying to be second purposely. And Alycia Baumgardner is going to have to wait until whenever Amanda Serrano decides to close the show. Unless she just goes in there and just get destroyed or something and she's, okay, well, you fell off. Other than that, and for her to beat a version of her that's been knocked out and destroyed already, what does that do for her? All you did was beat an old, washed up Amanda Serrano. And her credit would not be there. She will be one of those fighters where, think about it, and let's be real. Most boxers from other countries always have that person has a whole country behind them. They always say that. I'm looking up there. How many American boxers did you see sitting up there on Jake Paul's platform? How many American female boxers did you see up there? So, do you understand the point what I'm saying? Everything is, let's, and this is all it's about. And the guy that was doing the hosting mentioned Jake Paul, the man who defeated Iron Mike Tyson. Why'd you even say that? Like he fought a prime Mike or something. If George Foreman was still here, that's probably who Jake would be trying to fight next. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? A guy, look at who's behind all of this. He's talking about how he started and where he is now and how he never thought he'd be here. And him and Amanda working together and glaze, women, rah. This is all he's doing. This is what this whole thing, let's glaze the women. And to be honest with you, your star, Amanda Serrano, wasn't even the star of that show. Like I said, like 97% of those questions was all. Matter of fact, I can say 98 because a couple of times when Amanda Serrano butted in and cut Katie Taylor off, jumping in her conversation. All those questions were pretty much for Katie Taylor. And the truth of the matter is, if you take the bullshit, we from the same country out of it, we the same nationality out of it, you just go by personality and go by. Amanda Serrano is like low-key jealous. She's like low-key arrogant. Like she wants to be considered the best. She want for people to say that. Just like she want for people to say she won the fight, right? She want for people to say she's the greatest of all. That's why I'm the GOAT. You want to take somebody else's quote and use it for yourself. Like she know what she's doing. Katie Taylor don't give a shit how you see her. So when they're asking all these people, okay, like who do you think was going to win? Of course the majority of them are going to say Katie, and then you're going to have some trying to play neutral. No different if they was over in Ireland, if they was having this press conference in Ireland. How many people you think is going to say Amanda Serrano's going to win? Does it matter what people say? Who cares? Hey, I told you, I looked at all these different channels, at all these different polls, because I wanted to see how people saw Stan Jonas and how they see Boots. And every poll, I didn't see one poll, not one, where Jerron Boots Ennis was the favorite to win. Everybody had Stan Jonas beating Jerron Boots Ennis. So it doesn't matter what you think, who you think is going to win. We can all give our opinions on that. Like I said, we know for sure once you get in there and fight. And that's what I'm about. I'm about the fights. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know what? We live in a society where as long as the money's good, that's all people care about. So, like, in other words, people could take your little 18-year-old daughters. Ain't it funny you can shake your ass naked for money at 18, but you can't drink till you're 21? But you can go work in a club and shake your ass when they're drinking, right? Yeah, and you think they don't get them drugs and get them drugged up and get them drunk and all that, have them on a stroll out there screwing clients and doing all types of stuff to make extra money? Yeah, of course they do that shit. Yeah, so as long as money's good, who cares that your 18-year-old son or daughter want to go out here shaking their ass for money and prostituting and doing shit? Who cares? The money's good. That's all they care about. And I'm just sitting there looking at women's boxing. Yeah, I know now you're also such advocates of women's boxing, but you know what's funny? Where the fuck do these women be at when women boxing is on? Because I see Clarissa Shields at down there every fight. Where are all these other New Jack women? Where they be at? Huh? Where are they at? However it goes, Katie Taylor might fuck around and pull a fucking 3-0 shutout. And guess what? Everybody crying and running around talking about who won and complaining and putting up their little Puerto Rican flags and maybe they'll create a justice for Amanda Page like they did for Lomachenko. None of that shit ain't going to change nothing. And if she gets beat 3-0, it doesn't make a difference what her accomplishments you can't take away. But what really feels really stupid about this is they're trying, like you said, she's the heart and soul. What do you mean the heart and soul? This is not a football fucking team. This isn't a basketball team. This is a stable of people that is competing against each other. Now, we've seen the problem with the PBC being able to, not really wanting to work with, Matchroom and you know what I mean, and ESPN, all this shit, whatever. Like these, well, we got to do a cross-platform situation, and we got to get like all this type of stuff that they're doing. You know what I mean? It's like the same situation may happen where they try to keep things in-house, and if that's the case, well, look at what Turkey was doing. What's the first thing that we said when we heard about Turkey and Dana White? Like, yo, are they trying to make it where they have a league of their own, where you get these guys from here, they come over here, they're getting paid way more money and stuff like that to it. Now it's like a segregation, and now, no, that's not what we want. But we'll see what happens. And with this whole, we're a group, MVP is where it's at. And yeah, they're saying all of this shit now. I'll say this though. If Katie Taylor beats Amanda Serrano for a third time, and like I said, all the crying ain't gonna mean shit. Y'all can post 1,000 comments expressing y'all hate, y'all discuss, y'all. It doesn't make a difference what you say. What matters is what the fuck goes in those records, right? Just like example, when Pernell kicked Chavez's ass, I know what I saw, but I'm not the one that call the shots and do the records. I can't change all that, but I know I saw Pernell win, and they called that bullshit a draw, and they thought they was going to get a rematch out of it, and this shit never happened. Okay, more than likely, Pernell could never knock Chavez out. You understand what I mean? You never know, but bottom line, which means it will be another decision. And if he doesn't get the win, maybe they rob him next time, or who knows? But he definitely got robbed in that, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, we just saw a fight where the majority of people felt like Lamont Roach won. Okay, we can go down the line. Crying about it doesn't change it. Doesn't change it. And in fact, you want to know what? The mentality of, but controversy creates cash, because people want to see, it turns a lot of people off. But at the same time, we're in a position now where people don't even care about what the right thing is. But judges are judges. Like I said, you can judge a bodybuilding contest, and whoever wins that night, you can have the same guys on a different night, different judges, and somebody else win. So depending on what the judges are looking at, man, and one thing people can't pull is no bullshit about, they can't say that Katie Taylor got the win because she was in her country. Yeah, and like the dude he called Amanda Serrano the pride of Puerto Rico and the pride of Brooklyn. Well, Brooklyn's in America. And the thing was, she got a point deducted, and she still won the fight. Just saying. The judges also, even with the deduction, might have said, you know what, that was unintentional, because it wasn't unintentional. But so maybe they just, you know what, I see the point, but and maybe I don't know. But bottom line is, they saw Katie Taylor the winner. Now, don't get me wrong. The majority of the people I heard speaking was saying Katie Taylor, but at the same time, I'm just being real. If your last fucking name is Ramirez, or fucking Antonio, or you understand what I'm saying? You sitting up, okay, and well, maybe you're just being biased. But I did think that Katie Taylor lost. But I always tell you, I don't know how the judges are scoring. Simply because there's things, little subtle things. Like example, if you throw a shot, pop, and the motherfucker head is doing that, everybody can see that. But you might be on the inside where your head is here and pop, and that's not showing as much as your head snapping. You understand what I'm saying? But those are still punches. You can't score points for who hit the hardest or who, you know what I'm saying? It's bottom line. But yeah, she got the, and y'all know that. Stop playing. Y'all know that shit, man. You go through a comment section, everybody last name Rivera, Lopez, you know what I'm saying? Ramirez, and all of them crying about who, stop that bullshit, man. Stop it. And I'm saying that because when you see robberies with other fighters and okay, cool. So shut the fuck up either way. That crime is not going to change it. It's not going to change it. And the way I see a fight between those two, Katie Taylor is a better boxer than Amanda. The boxing mind often is more inclined to be able to make the better adjustments. But also, Katie's speed and movement is a huge part of her fight. Okay? Amanda just comes forward. And the thing is, Amanda doesn't move her head. I said, man, if Katie Taylor, I don't know, if she would use angles and throw shots off those angles, move, step around, roll, grasp it like that, I don't think she knows how to do that shit. Because I don't see her do it. But if she learned how to do that shit, man, she would tear Amanda Serrano's ass up. Because Amanda don't have no fucking head movement whatsoever. Katie will move her head, but when she comes in forward, it's like she just comes in. When she comes in so open, work off the fucking jab. These motherfuckers. This is why I laugh, because when I watch Shields fight and I watch them, I'm like, where's the jab? Where's the work off the jab? Where's the movement? What basic shit? Basic shit. And Amanda Serrano just comes in. She tries to overwhelm you with shots. She tries to walk you down and get you to the ropes and try to pounce on you. She does the same shit, but she's there to be hit. And for Katie, she's a speedster. She get in, get out, those quick shots. That's what she's used to. If Katie was working off that jab and giving her angles, man, she would box circles around Amanda Serrano. But that's why I said, when you look at the women's boxing, most of them don't even know the basics. The best women fighters, just like the majority of male fighters, are ones who work off the jab. How many female fighters do you really see utilize their jab the way they're supposed to? You understand what I'm saying? Or they'll jab, but they don't know what to do after the jab. But the best, most effective fighters work off their jab. I think that this fight, if Amanda Serrano was to win, they're going to try to push for a fourth one to try to make it 2-2. Maybe, and if she was to win that, let's go for a fifth one and make it, for a tiebreaker. All they're concerned about is numbers. Now, I'm not talking about the two fighters. I'm talking about the Jake Pauls and all that. That's all they care about is numbers. Look at how he built his career. You think that motherfucker really give a fuck about real boxing? They're businessmen. Numbers. That's all I heard. And they're celebrating all of what they, you ever been somewhere where people buy timeshares, and every time somebody they get a timeshare sale, and they pop a bottle of champagne, everybody start, that's what it's just, no. The quality of the fights is what we're looking at. And the fact of the matter is, I don't care if the women fight 2 minutes or 3 minutes. To be honest with you, I feel mixed emotions about it in terms of, nobody want to watch 3 minutes of boredom. I've seen men fight 3 minutes of boredom, per round, but, whatever. I'm not against any of that. I don't care. That's whatever they choose to do is whatever they choose to do. But it's funny how, Alycia Baumgardner had to sit there and play her role. When we heard her openly speak against fighting Amanda Serrano for 3 minutes around for 12 rounds. There's no need for those extra rounds or those extra minutes. But she didn't, but she's calling it out on Katie Taylor. But it's like, hey, look, stop it, man. Why do you get the favoritism anyway? And I feel like, and truthfully, I feel like this. It's almost like that. It's like, if you're going to give Amanda Serrano, you're going to grant her, 3 minutes, 12 rounds, then every fight should be that day. Every title fight. Not no fucking exceptions. Think about this, for example, right? Let's say you have two fighters. Now, once you agree to it, you agree to it. But still, in principle, it's let's say for favoritism, a fighter can say, let's say Amanda Serrano being an A side in a fight can say 12 rounds, 3 minutes a round. Now, let's just say, for example, right? She fought a woman, and let's just say Amanda Serrano was, let's say, for example, she fights Baumgardner, and let's say she was losing that fight. But let's say she was able to get a TKO stoppage against Baumgardner in the 12th round. Let's say Baumgardner just was tired. Those 2 extra rounds, she wasn't used to. But let's just say, for example, Alycia Baumgardner. Let's say, for example, Serrano fight somebody else, right? And they don't agree to the fucking 2 extra rounds in 3 minutes a round. So there's no fight. Now, let's just say, for example, right? Baumgardner went and fought somebody else, right? Got a belt. Now they have a rematch, but it's 10 rounds instead of 12. But this time, the fight go the same way, with the exception of the 2 rounds, and Baumgardner wins the fight easy on points. Baumgardner's claim is going to be, she only beat me because we had 2 extra rounds. But it doesn't matter. You agreed to it, and those 2 extra rounds, those same 2 extra rounds she had, you had. And the fact of the matter is, if her conditioning is better, that's the reason why. Okay, it's like someone who runs marathons don't want to race against somebody that sprint. Okay, a sprinter don't want to run a marathon and just quit. No, you got to pace. Do you have the gas tank to do that whole marathon? See, it's a difference. So my point, what I'm saying, the claim would be stupid. It would be childish and make no sense, but it would be a factor. So that's my point. Is Serrano is like trying to throw these 2 extra rounds for 3 minutes, especially because she feels like it gives her a better chance because she has the gas tank for it. Now, if other women are not getting those same opportunities, what do you hear people say when fights about to happen? This person only been 12 rounds twice. This person's been there 10 times, so they're used to it. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Now, it's one thing that you're stopping fighters and you're not making it to the 12th round because you're stopping them. But what I'm, that's something different. But in this sense, you see what I'm saying? The fact that other women are not being granted 3 minutes around and 12. So that's favoritism, man. So you understand what I'm saying? All this shit talking they do, but yet there's stipulations. Come on, man. Come on. How many times have we said we get sick of Tank with this rehydration clause shit and the different fighters putting this, catch weight shit? But hey, listen, if you're willing to talk this shit, go up and back it up, man. And I sitting there looking at these women sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know none of these broads. Like I'm just looking at them like, wow. So, and then too, let's look at the lie that they slipped in. Now, when they say 74 million people watched the fight, I'm not saying that they're lying about that, but 74 million people tuned in, for the most part, for Mike Tyson. And they wanted to see Mike Tyson whoop Jake Paul's ass. Let's stop bullshitting. If you took Mike Tyson and Jake Paul off that fucking card and the headline was Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor, that shit doesn't even do close to 74 million. Okay, let's stop playing games. But at the same time, this is what people do to try to build and make you feel like, like that old saying people used to say, any and everybody who is somebody will be at this event. They want you to check in. And meanwhile, nobody's talking about Alycia Baumgardner. So she can keep taking shots and talking shit about Shields all she want. She need to focus on what she got going on with her right now. Because, like I said in the previous video, the way Baumgardner's career is going, man, I feel like somebody's going to beat her. And when they beat her, her stock is going to drop even just simply because look at where she came from. Then got suspended even after saying they didn't think she cheated purposely. And then she comes back and fight a woman with one motherfucking leg. And it was a lackluster performance. And it was a tiny ass building. And of course, she don't want to come out and go public and make it known that she's struggling to get good fights. And she said she has to reintroduce herself to the world, let people know who Alycia Baumgardner is. You're starting over again in your damn early 30s right now. Okay, so cool. Guess what? You're not the A side of anything. And nobody's even promoting her fight. Now, maybe in the coming weeks and months, okay, yeah, I expect them to do something for her. But do you understand what I'm saying? She's not top priority. She's not the main event. See? And that's where, when I'm telling you guys, she don't have the right to call no shots on no fucking... Come on, Clarissa Shields, of all people. Could she call the shots to be the main event on this card? Absolutely not. Nobody's even talked. They didn't even ask her about her fight, her opponent. Nobody talked to them at their press conference. This was all the Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano show. That's all this was. They didn't even need to be there. They should have just sat there with masks on their fucking head, bags on their head or some shit, with a dunce hat on. They didn't give them no light. So whatever they do to change that, if they do anything to change that in the coming weeks, we'll see. But yeah, man, Alycia Baumgardner is sitting on the back. She's in the she takes a back seat to them. She takes a back seat to them, and they saying what they're saying. But check this out. Let's see, when it comes time for Alycia Baumgardner to fight, who's the first one to start talking about her being a drug cheat? Who's the first one to start saying how you didn't get knocked out after that, and whatever. But yeah, let's see. So all of this, we play nice. We're winning. No. It's like the PBC. This isn't a stable of fighters that's going against matchroom fighters and all, ESPN fighters and all that. No, no. This is a stable of fighters that are going to fight each other. The problem is they were trying to keep the money in house. You see what happened to them, right? So we'll see how this happens. And they think because they're on a platform like Netflix that all of a sudden things can't go wrong. That's bullshit. And they better deliver on these fights. Now, to try to make this a feminist movement, you also got to look and think, how many women really actually watch boxing? And how many of them watch it for actual female boxing? So once again, don't be deluded just because, they had a massive amount of people watching the event that basically included Mike Tyson. If Jake Paul was fighting anybody else other than Mike, it wouldn't have had the same success. And we know that shit. And everybody still thought Mike had it. People still thought Mike was going to be the same Mike. He's rejuvenated. It's going to be a different Mike Tyson. Hey, he was different, all right. But and the fact that different people got to see Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, please believe there was people that night that saw them for the first time. Never even heard of them. Didn't know they was. And I know because I work with a lot of them. They ain't know nobody else. I know for a fact they didn't know who they don't even watch boxing. They just know Mike Tyson. Yeah, I just want to see Mike kick Jake Paul's ass. They didn't even know who the fuck they was watching on his undercard. Okay. But yeah, and that's what people get caught up into, man. It's like I said, man. It's like meeting a woman and you introduce yourself to her. You talking about your money and what kind of house you got, what kind of cars, and how you pay all the bills, take care of your car. You already fucked up because now she like, oh, so I ain't gotta do nothing but be a bum and just munch off of you. Oh, okay, shit, girl, I got it made. This you already fucked up. Yeah, like this dude was saying. He said, man, you think. Motherfucker told a guy, you ain't a real man if your woman paying bills. He said, bitch, let me tell you something. In my fucking house, me and my wife, we pay everything together. So motherfucker, if we got to pay $1,000 for our motherfucking rent, and we both put up $500, we got $1,000, we got to pay $500. Like, man, shit, motherfucker, we go $250 each. We pay everything. We got money left over to chill. Your dumb ass out here taking care of some bum ass woman that's using you because you think that's what a real man does. That's why your asses end up broken, ain't got shit, and be making videos talking about, I can't believe she did me like that. I did this for her. And everybody talking about prayers up and that's messed up. Oh, you know what? She gonna get hers. Your true queen is gonna come. Meanwhile, your ass all is 68 years old talking about fuck out of here. This is what I'm saying. Once you start introducing a product, it's like the WWE is on Netflix, right? Let me show you something. Night 1. Are you ready for Monday Night Raw on Netflix? Crowd was all hyped up, had all these people come out and whatever. They drew a 5.9 that night. Every week after that, it dropped. 3.8, 3.8, 3.6, 2.8, 2.6, 1.3. Yeah. Because people started watching. And you know what's crazy? For people that watched it for the first time, it's obvious they lost interest in the people that's watching are their hardcore fans. Why? The highest they ever drew was at 8.0, which was years ago. Years ago. And it was either on the USA Network or maybe Spike TV or what, I'm not sure. But whatever network it was, might have been yours. But bottom line, so they didn't even break their peak numbers on Netflix. See, they thought they were going to do like Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul type numbers. Yeah, I remember reading the article, they expected to at least get 60 million. Nope, not even close. Not even close. So my point is, they can go pan the crowd, show all these celebrities, all these actors, all these movie stars out there who also star in movies that's on Netflix and all. They can do all of that. But none of that shit got those views back up. You understand what I'm saying? And I grew up watching this kind of shit. And I can tell you, nobody's talking about no damn WrestleMania like what they used to. And as we speak, they only sell 50-something thousand tickets in a venue that holds 70,000. Now that can change, but this shit is this weekend, right? Okay. So this is the point of what I'm saying. Just because something's successful financially and you think that's the selling point. No, because if I'm watching boxing, I want to be entertained by the fight. Not because you come to the ring with a rapper, because you come out there crip walking down the fucking aisle and all that shit, man. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. And I don't care about none of that shit. Bullshit, nah, fuck. I want the fight. If the fight is whack, I care about none of that shit. Oh, but he came out with fuck Eminem. Fuck out of here. I don't even like Candy. But you know what I'm saying. Don't, that shit don't mean nothing. So, anyways, yeah, Alycia Baumgardner, you got to wait your time until they finish, giving Amanda Serrano the royal treatment. And unfortunately, you don't have a dance partner to do the same things with. And truthfully, that's the way boxing goes. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch you guys on the next video.